What is up, guys? Welcome back to S3M2 Football and welcome to the 2024-25 season. A lot has happened already. The UEFA Super Cup, the Community Shield, and unfortunately we weren't able to cover those matches, but we are back in it now for match day 1 of the English Premier League that is kicking off this weekend. So please join me as I talk just a little bit about the fixture that is kicking off this Sunday at Old Trafford in Manchester on the 17th of August. For this one, it is a bumper clash that sees Manchester United host Arsenal. Now, kicking things off with the home team, Manchester United, there's no stats to really talk about because obviously it's the first match of the season. But last season, Manchester United finished their Premier League campaign in 15th. They'll definitely be looking to improve after a very disappointing season that actually saw them go through to the Europa League final and then lose out to fellow Premier League strugglers, Tottenham Hotspur. The first player I have to talk about for Manchester United has got to be Portuguese attacking midfielder Bruno Fernandes. For me, Bruno Fernandes was the only player who actually looked to do anything for Manchester United last season, and in 57 appearances, he scored 19 goals and provided 19 assists. Bruno Fernandes is the focal point of Manchester United's attacks. He is their playmaker, using all of his creativity, his passing ability, and his movement to just create chances both for himself and for his teammates. Sticking with the midfield, I want to talk about Uruguayan defensive midfielder Manuel Ugarte. In 45 appearances last season, Ugarte got just 2 goals and 6 assists, but I think it's important for us to remember that he was the anchor in midfield for Manchester United. Ugarte constantly using his stamina and his aggression to just sort of try to control the game a little for a Manchester United team that looked very, very fragile. Speaking of that defensive fragility, the next player I want to talk about for Manchester United has got to be English centre-back Harry Maguire. In 40 appearances, Maguire did score 4 goals and provide 1 assist, but when I looked at Maguire last season, I saw the leader at Manchester United. He's a player who used his determination and his fighting spirit to just constantly encourage and inspire his teammates, all while attempting to lead a very shaky and very inconsistent back line. Tactically for Manchester United, coach Ruben Amorim does want his team to be able to play efficiently on the counter-attack. To that end, we did see Manchester United lining up quite a few times last season in a 3-4-2-1 formation. The idea is to attack centrally, move the ball quickly through those channels in midfield to just outpace and outnumber the opposition in dangerous areas. Out wide, wingbacks on the left and on the right provide attacking options out wide, or they're able to drop deep to create a back 5 when defending instead. Okay, looking at the away team for Arsenal, again, this is their first competitive fixture this season, so not much to talk about. But last season, the Gunners did finish their Premier League campaign in 2nd, so close to success and yet so far away. They too will be looking to improve, and the first player that I think will definitely be looking to get among the goals as soon as possible has got to be English right winger Bukayo Saka. In 37 appearances last season, Bukayo Saka scored 12 goals and provided 14 assists. He is an inverted winger for Arsenal on that right wing, using his pace and his close control to just slice the opposition defenders to ribbons. Creating things from the midfield for Arsenal, I want to talk about Norwegian attacking midfielder Martin Odegaard. In 45 appearances last season, Odegaard scored 6 goals and provided 12 assists. For me, he is the main playmaker at Arsenal. Martin Odegaard has tons of creativity in those central areas, and he's got the patience to be able to slowly break down and poke holes in their opposition defense. And sticking with the midfield for Arsenal, I want to talk about English central midfielder Declan Rice. In 52 appearances, Declan Rice scored 9 goals and provided 10 assists. For me, he was a typical box-to-box midfielder for Arsenal, using his stamina and his wide array of skills to be able to control the tempo of the game for the Gunners, speeding it up when necessary or slowing it down when the need arose. Tactically for Arsenal, coach Mikel Arteta knows he has a team that can play both on the counter-attack or just play a slow possession style of football instead. To that end, we did see Arsenal lining up in a 4-3-3 formation most of the time last season. Central playmakers like Odegaard and Declan Rice look to pull strings in midfield and slowly break the opposition defenses down. But speedy wingers out wide, players like Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, are able to overwhelm the opposition in those wide areas and either cut in to create chances or float in aerial crosses for a player who's arriving late into that box. Looking at the head-to-head between these two teams, the last 5 fixtures between Manchester United and Arsenal have ended in 1 win for Manchester United, 3 wins for Arsenal, and then just 1 draw separating the two teams. Unfortunately for Manchester United, in those last 5 fixtures, they weren't able to keep a single clean sheet against Arsenal. The Gunners have proven that they can have good moments on the pitch, but they really struggled last season without a free scoring centre forward. Manchester United had a similar problem, but they also had a problem with creating the chances and then also just remaining solid defensively. For United, it looks like there were so many problems on the pitch and off it as well. Players like Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford departed Old Trafford and then proceeded to flourish at their new clubs. New signings like Mbeumo, Cunha and Sesko will be looked to just inject a bit of hunger into this team. That is something that I think Manchester United have been lacking for quite a few seasons. For Arsenal, I think it was still a case of struggling in certain areas, but also having to acknowledge that the opposition in terms of teams like PSG, Liverpool, and at times Manchester City can just be so much better. I think Arsenal proved in that match last season against Real Madrid, both away and at home, that they can go up against the best teams in Europe and actually get a result. But for them, the problem has always just been sealing the deal at the end of the season. Arsenal do have a major advantage, I think, with Victor Gyökeres being the only major change in this team, meaning that everybody else still has that chemistry from last season, and they haven't really lost anybody significant in terms of departures. However, Manchester United do have an advantage of their own playing this match at home. Old Trafford is not an easy stadium to go to. Yes, Arsenal have proven that they can go to Old Trafford and get a result when it's necessary. But this new Manchester United, this team that looks like they are slowly but surely getting somewhere, a team that was missing some very important players last season through injury and just overall lack of fitness, they are now looking like they are ready to compete. Will they? I highly doubt it. I think Manchester United still have too many problems that they need to rectify, and I think they've still failed to do so even with this transfer window. I think United will have enough to get a goal here, but I think Arsenal have just as much in terms of goal output. My score prediction for this one is going to be Manchester United 2, Arsenal 2.